The American public continues to be divided. Why? Well, simple. They choose to be. It's easier to be having your head buried in the sand and believing that all will be well. Everything will take care of itself. Trump, our hero. Biden, our hero. All of these individuals are going to jump in and save the day. It does not matter. I'm going to prove to you today that we live in an oligarchy, that realistically speaking, that everything that we're seeing is controlled opposition to the greater good of humanity. Don't believe me? Well, let's go down this journey and find out. Let's start off with BusinessInsider.com. 6 corporations control 90% of the media. From Comcast, News Group, Disney, Viacom, Time Warner, and CBS all control all of our 90% of our media. Do you think there is a incentive to be unbiased when you have 6 corporations controlling everything? And the people that control all 6 corporations are the Rockefellers. Isn't that something? And people who listen to Rachel Maddow, Tucker Carlson, whoever else, doesn't matter. They believe that they are the shining light, the example of what it is that in this world the truth is. When realistically they're just spoon feeding you disinformation. Nothing more, nothing less. Just constant division. Still don't believe me? BrotherJones.com. Who owns Congress? A campaign cash seating chart. So when we look at this campaign cash seating chart, I posted a picture of it in a video. The Senate, lawyers, drugs, and money. Here we go. 57 seats are bought by finance, insurance, and real estate. Lawyers and lobbyists pay 25. Health pays 5. Agribusiness pays 3. Labor pays 2. Energy and natural resources pays 2. Miscellaneous business pays 2. Communications, electronics 1. And no money raised 3. I don't necessarily believe these numbers. This is an older chart. I believe big tech is paying more than its fair share. I also believe that energy is paying much more now since we have a Republican Senate. Breitbart. For those of you who love yourself some Black Lives Matter and believe that the organization is there for the greater good, I'm sorry to tell you they're not. Want an example? When's the last time you were in a truly impoverished black community? When's the last time you've seen and experienced the black community? Besides your TV and your suburbs, when is the last time you think any of the politicians truly experienced the black community? None. Well, let me give you an example of who really funds Black Lives Matter. George Soros is one of them. George Soros has donated from the Open Society Foundation $33 million. And Anastasia Beverly Hills Fashion, $1 million. Airbnb, $500,000. Bad Robots, $10 million. BTS, $1 million. Cisco, $5 million. DCIEM, $100,000. Democracy Alliance, another Soros group, $500 million. You think the agenda there is to truly give black people equality, or do you think it's to drive a division between everybody in this country? You know what this is dividing and separating the country and keeping people focused on each other on the bottom rather than looking up. We need to punch up, not punch down. Moving on. Extensive lists of politicians paid off by Monsanto. Now here's the deal. Some of these are gone, but let's take a look at the money. John Borrow, $2,500. Bishop Sanford, $5,000. John Boehner, $10,000. Bruce Braley, $5,000. Corey Gardner, $7,500. Bob Gordlet, $4,500. Tim Holden, $1,000. Randy Hultgren, $2,500. Tom Latham, $10,000. What do we know about Monsanto? Well, their Roundup causes cancer. They grow GMO food. They are firsthand responsible for the many cancer that's found in this country due to food and due to crops and due to agriculture. We don't do anything about that, do we? We don't chase. Police aren't fixated on these big corporations that are causing a whole bunch of problems, that are literally killing people by the millions. Yet we're focused on the low petty drug dealer across the corner. Instead, we should be focused on the people who are really killing people. Also, J.P. Morgan just got hit with $1 billion fine for manipulating energy and precious metals markets. Do you know how much damage that did to the market? Yet we're not doing anything with them. There's a two-tiered legal system, and the top tier one is protected by our politicians. Why do you think Trump has not indicted Hillary yet? Why do you think he has not gone after the Clintons? Why do you think Podesta's still roaming around? Where are these quiet? Is nobody asking these questions? Instead, we're listening to propaganda pieces like QAnon telling you, trust the plan. Okay, trust the plan. Another one. How big pharma's money and its politicians fed the opioid crisis. Here's the thing. How many have died from overdosing due to fentanyl? And no justice came for these families. How many? Do you not understand how addictive they make these drugs? That it isn't, you can't just cold turkey quit it. The fact that it goes straight into your DNA and it excites your molecules to want more, and it's hard to put down, just like cigarettes and nicotine. It is difficult. And we blame the user, but we never blame the companies that put it out in circulation. And you know who else? You know how big pharma supported us as well? By putting big money into the war in Afghanistan, where 90% of the world's opium's at. Still believe you live in quite a government? A Republican elected government? No, this isn't a democracy. It's a republic, and a republic works for your elected representatives work for the corporations, not you. The Atlantic. How did the members of Congress get so wealthy? Isn't that a good question? How did Representative Darrell Issa walk out with $357 million? How does Michael McCall walk out with $117 million? How does Nancy Pelosi walk around with $74.11 million? How does that happen? No questions are being asked by the American public. We just want our sports. We just want our television. We want our Kardashians. Where is it? Where are these questions not being asked? The founding fathers had an image that it was a point of service to go in office and to help your country better, be better, grow better, develop better. But yet we continuously find ourselves getting worse and worse and worse. Why do you think the corporations got a $5 trillion bailout package and many of you cannot get Medicare for all? Why? Why do you think they couldn't have covered your costs during the pandemic? Why do you think we keep giving airlines money when less and less travel is happening, but we can't give people money, the backbone of this country, money? Why? Interesting, right? Another thing another one from BusinessInsider.com. Here's some total donations for you. Facebook donates $2 million, and 7% of that goes to Republicans, 91% of that goes to Democrats. Isn't that interesting? Why do we think that Republicans get censored over Facebook? Because Democrats get the money. Democrats support Facebook, and they allow big tech to grow the way they do, and as a result, they make the rules. Then you have the opposite, where Western Refinery, a energy company with oil, 64% goes to Republicans and 35% goes to Democrats. Now, why do you think Republicans don't believe in climate change or climate engineering, geoengineering? Why don't they believe in that conveniently? Well, because big oil is giving them the money to do so. They could literally put nuclear waste into a river and say it'll go away while many people are drinking it. Never mind that Joe Biden said he's not going to do away with fracking not too long ago. People still vote for him. We're so polarized just based on the identity of the candidates rather than their policies and their issues. And here's another graph from howmuch.net. Here's who donates. Here's some of the biggest donors in the game. Goldman Sachs donates $11.5 million. 52% of Republicans, 47% of Democrats. Why do you think all that money doesn't go to the people? It goes to the Republicans and Democrats. That money is used to continuously take away more away from you, to strip more away from you, to create and use policies against you to help them grow and develop. Microsoft, 80% goes to Democrats, 18% goes to Republicans. JP Morgan, and that's, 80% go to Democrats and 18% goes to Republicans. That's $7.2 million. JP Morgan of $6.2 million, 55% goes to Democrats, 43% goes to Republicans. Morgan Stanley, $5.4 million, 54% goes to Republicans, 44% goes to Democrats. And the pharmaceutical industry, here's who they fund. $14 million goes to Democrats, $10 million goes to Republicans. You ever wonder why the left-leaning states have more medical guidelines and more restrictions? Why do they push vaccines more? Because the pharmaceutical industry is backing them, and as a result, their policies are set to make them more profitable. That's why Republican states have less medical tyranny laws. Anyone that believes that your choices go for left or right, and that's all you have, is a fool. And I'm sorry to say that. You're a fool. You have more than one choice. You can be vocal. You don't even have to vote. We have to put people in office who truly mean the best for the society, but we're not doing that. We're voting like we're on a team, whether it's like football, Patriots versus Buccaneers, or Cardinals versus the Cubs. Regardless of what the individual player's behavior is and what they've done, we're just voting because we support a team. Never mind, the team is there to make its money for itself. Never mind, that team is walking out with boatloads, shiploads of money that is not benefiting you. And that's our political system. We live in an oligarchy. The few control the many because the corporations feed them the money necessary to push them to make these rules and policies against us. 6 corporations own 90% of our media. Why do you think nothing of substance or truth gets pushed through the public spectrum? Why? Why do you think Fox News, MSNBC, CNN ever cover anything substantial? Yes, a lot of it is Operation Mockingbird. The other part is money. News is entertainment, not the truth. Those of you who seek the truth will feel and know that what they're preaching to you is wrong and it is not satisfying. We can't go on like this as a country. We truly can't. $5 trillion goes to the corporations. Most Americans can't even get a $1,200 check. And that's a one-time check. They can't even create a second stimulus package to help the public. They're still pushing money out for these corporations, and nobody's asking questions. People still either vote blue no matter who, or vote red till I'm dead. This dance is getting exhausting and tiring to see. We have a very small window to make a change and be unified before a massive civil war breaks out, before massive crushing depression comes out. But many still want to put their heads in the sand. Wake up, arm yourself with credible data and knowledge, and help us do this. We at Midwest Climate Engineering Watch do not want your money. We do not need your money. We need you to support the channel by either sharing, subscribing, and communicating, and being the difference that we need to see in this country and in the world. We need you. You need us. It's a symbiotic relationship. You know, this was a rant. This whole thing was a rant, but I'm tired of seeing our communities get destroyed. I'm tired of seeing people get divided and polarized while the rich get rich and continue to profit off of looting, plundering, and pillaging the planet of its last remaining life support systems. And we can't seem to look up and see who's punching us. It's ridiculous. People, I have hope for you. Do not allow your children and grandchildren to live in a future that is going to be destroyed.